Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome in. It's Rich here. This is the Sunday sit down on the Suffolk Crunch, and we do this every Sunday after the Ipswich Town games, and we do them midweek and lots besides. So if you're new here, welcome in. Please hit the subscribe button. We're aiming to get to 10,000 as quick as we can. We'll go for 225 likes on this video. It's a bumper video. It's a Town v West Brom look back, and then off to the O2 we went for Wardley versus Joseph Parker. So we'll have a little bit of chat about that as well. We are sponsored by the Bad Shirt Club. If you're new here, head over to the website. They do a selection of bucket hats, jackets, shirts. Christmas range is coming, and you can use the code TSC30 at the checkout and you will get 30% off. MBITFC, good afternoon. How are you? Yeah, if you're in the comments, get involved. If you're watching back on catch up on YouTube, which I know a lot of you do, leave your thoughts on the Town game, the performance, and if you watch the boxing, leave your thoughts on that, as our boy Fabio done the business at the O2 last night. It was a late one. I look dog-tired. I got back at just before 2 a.m. and with the clock change, it went back to 1. So I was up at 3:45 for work. So I've literally had less than 3 hours kip. So I might be a little bit tired, but we will get into it. Anyway, we all headed down to Portman Road for an early kickoff. And we were all thinking, what was the team going to be? How many changes were going to be this time? 9. 9 changes for Kieran McKenna's team, as we lined up with Christian Walton in goal, Darnell Furlong, Dar O'Shea, Cedric Kipre, and Leif Davis. Azor Matasiwa was back in midfield, and he was partnered by Jack Taylor. Little bit of a surprise selection there. On the left-hand side, Jaden Philogene. In the 10 was Sammy Smodics. Sunday Wale Ageli was on the right, and George Hurst returned up top. West Brom lined up with Griffiths in goal, Campbell, Phillips, Mepham, and Taylor, Mowat and Diakate in midfield, Illing Jr., Isaac Price, who we kept really quiet yesterday, Mikey Johnson and Hegabo up front, and it was a very tough watch yesterday. It was what I would describe as an ugly victory. As Town huffed and puffed, and eventually did blow the West Bromwich Albion house down, but it took quite a while to get there, and wasn't the most let's say pleasing on the eye if you were at the ground or you were watching on Sky at home. It was a real gritty. I tweeted yesterday after the game, it was an ugly victory. You know, sometimes you've just got to dig in and you've got to get that victory, which we got. And we also kept a clean sheet, which was only the second one this season, which is good. The baggies are not bagging, says Gurmank Singh. They were terrible, West Brom. They were absolutely awful. If we look on the stats, ball possession in the game was 54-46 to Town. Our XG was 2.22. That was probably because of the late chances we had after we scored. We had 15 shots to their 10. Not sure where they're getting 10 shots. They had 1 on target and we had 4. They had 1 big chance. Still not really sure what that was, and we had 4. Accurate passes, 83% for Town, 73. We made 390 passes yesterday. So, yeah. Silly comments. We will get on to McKenna in a little while. I think it's a bit of a storm in a teacup, if I'm honest. It's not really registered with me. I know there's a lot of fans losing their heads, which is what Town fans do. The atmosphere was dire yesterday. Let's just say it's a Saturday lunchtime kickoff. It's going to be a bit flat, but I don't know. Some people will say, yeah, but we're waiting for them to give us something. But then sometimes you've got to get that atmosphere going. It was pretty flat. Obviously, we lost Sammy Smodics early on to a knee injury. He tried to sort of carry on. He got clattered when he went to turn. It was his knee, and then he stretched one in the penalty area, went down. Glad it's not his ankle. So obviously he went off after 21, and Chuba Akpom came on. I totally agree with that. Block 8, it doesn't work. It does not work at all. They do their best. Let's not say that they don't, but I just think it doesn't work. Obviously, Chuba Akpom came on, and then on 60 minutes, he had to go off. A little bit of a naughty one. He got right on the top of his sort of foot and his ankle, which, yeah, looked a painful one. He had the boot off. And then, obviously, Marcelino Nunes. I think that's a bit harsh on George Hurst. We don't want no one getting injuries. And everyone has their opinion on players, and he did struggle yesterday. There's no getting away from it with George Hurst. I think he's just really short of confidence at the minute. But then, yeah, look, we may have stumbled on the number 10 that we've been waiting for all along. Berryson Evans Blue, good afternoon, everyone. Hurst looks totally shot of any confidence. Doesn't look like he wants to come and show for feet. Or running behind. I need a sip of tea. Hang on. Frog in the throat, never good. So yeah, and look, we stumbled on Nunes. Yeah, I've made my thoughts really clear on the number 9 situation that we didn't address in the summer. I like Azon, I like him, but I still see his best work off the bench when he comes on last 20-25 minutes, which he done yesterday, and he thought he'd done quite well. And when he started the 2 games at Bristol and Charlton the other night, he's struggled to get in the game. But then so has George Hurst. So it is, it's one of those. Be interesting to see who we go with next Saturday at QPR. The Swansea number 9. Remind me of his name, please, in the comment. He got 2 goals yesterday, didn't he? He took them well, but he was against Norwich. And everyone scores against them because they are dog. Ashbury 444. Atmosphere is poor in both games this week. Quiet at 0-0. And on the players' backs with every mistake. I do think we're quite a fickle fan base, but I don't think that's just town. You're always going to get the moans and groans. We've become a little bit entitled, I think. But then we do expect to be doing a little bit better. But we will come on to Kieran's comments after the game when he spoke to, I think it was Stuart Watson. But yeah, half time was 0-0. We had a Philogene shot that Griffiths saved. Standard Philogene cutting in on his right foot, bending it. Really good save from their goalkeeper. We had some corners. Didn't really create a lot other than that, but nor did West Brom really. They had one good run from, I think it was Ealing Jr. Got in down the right-hand side, and then nothing really happened. It's a hard one now, though, that they've moved. You're not going to want to give up your seat if you're in the North Stand to let them come back in. That was the decision they made. They've just got to stick with it now. And I don't think the atmosphere was that great when they were in there, if I'm honest. Helped, yeah, but I just think it's how the ground is designed. That's just my personal opinion. But yeah, look, second half, Town were on top without ever really looking like we were going to sort of score, if I'm honest. Egeli's had a couple. I don't like the new role Leif Davis plays when he's inverted in. I want him getting out wide and getting them crosses in, which he done for Egeli. I think that's when Davis does his best work. But yeah, then we made the subs. Obviously, Jack Taylor went off. We'll talk about Jack Taylor in a minute. I thought he was absolutely excellent yesterday. He went off. Philogene went off. George Hurst went off. Greetings from a wet and windy Bridlington. Have we now unearthed our number 10 in Nunes? I was just saying that. Nunes was already on, obviously. So Aslan comes on up top. Jack Clarke comes on the left. And obviously Jens come on. And we had to leave the subs a little bit late. And I think this is where McKenna might have got the ump a little bit. There was a few sort of ironic cheers when George Hurst's number went off, and we had to leave it till I think it was 77 because we'd already used 2, so we left them a little bit later in the game, and it all works out in the end. The subs obviously they did make the difference. Yeah, and then look, Town were pushing without ever really looking like we were going to make the breakthrough. West Brom were offering nothing really going forward. I mean, Isaac Price is their best player. He was anonymous. Mikey Johnson didn't really get in the game. And then they've tried to play out from the back under no pressure. These teams keep doing it. They keep doing it. It's cost West Brom the game. The pass from Griffiths into Moet is not a great pass. Jens nicks it. Surprisingly, the referee didn't give a foul because he gradually got worse, I thought. Didn't think he was great yesterday. First half, all right. And then it was just, there was too much whistle. A lot of free kicks to West Brom. Gary says, Hurst confidence is shot. We can all see that. Slagging him off isn't going to help. Agreed. But we are allowed to have an opinion. So it just depends how you make it. You know, it just depends how you make it, I think. But yeah, plays out. Jens nicks it. Into Azon. Should score. Down to the keeper's right. Makes a good save. Jack Clarke's on the move. Look at the goal that he scored against Norwich. And look at the goal he scored yesterday. He is on the move. He's not standing on his heels. And he's in there and he's nicked in. And he's finished it really well into the top of the net. Laters 88272 says, I thought the ref was poor, very inconsistent. Couldn't agree more. And then we had some great chances. I mean, the one where that's a really good move where we nicked the ball in the left back spot. Agueli carries it about 40, 50 yards into Nunes, into Azon. Can't really sort his feet out. That one goes wide. Then we have a great chance when we break again. Nunes plays in Jack Clarke. He's got to be selfish. Just go through and score the goal, and he tries to lay it on his plate for Agueli. And yeah, then that gets cleared. And then they had a little bit of pressure in the last, 5 minutes of injury time. You're always a bit edgy when it's 1-0, but I think they had a header that Walton saved comfortably. And they were poor. They brought on Daryl DK. He came on, obviously, last time out. He played at Portman Road. He had a really bad injury. So good to see him back. Josh Madger come on. CJ Blue, I was hoping we were going to see Jack Clarke on the left and Jaden Philogene on the right for the last 15 minutes. I would have liked to have seen that. I thought Agueli played quite well yesterday. We are talking about Ipswich Town versus West Bromwich Albion Super Tanzir. Hit the subscribe button. Get involved. Become a Town fan if you don't support a team already. Ipswich Town, they're on the way up. Yeah, I think Agueli, he grew into the game. He's a young player. He's come with a massive price tag, which puts a bit of pressure on him to start with. He needs a bit of patience. Not sure sometimes if we're going to play him away from home because I don't think it works at Borough. So it'll be interesting next Saturday at Loftus Road to see what happens. We are in the Championship, just below the Premier League, if you know your football. So it might be a case of he dips out and you could play a Clarke out on the right. Because Jack Clarke, I think somewhere we've got to get him in the team. He's our best, in my opinion, he's our best player. He's got 5 goals now, 4 off the bench. He's now joint leading scorer with Philogene. And I just think he looks a threat every time he comes on. Spanner says, after Charlton, this was needed as a shocking performance. Performance levels yesterday, really, if you look at the first half of Charlton and the first half yesterday, we probably played better in the first half against Charlton. And when we know what happened in the second half. But we just kept it tight at the back yesterday. We didn't make any... that is later, the El Clasico. We'll be having a look at that. We didn't make any mistakes at the back. Kit Bray was like a rock. Head it, kick it, block it. That's what he can do. He's not bad on the ball with his passing, but I think he's just a proper defender. And I thought O'Shea played well yesterday, obviously against his former club. Kit Bray against his former club. Furlong against his former club. The back four were pretty steady. If you look on FootMob, this is unbelievable. They give Christian Walton man of the match. They give him an 8, which he clearly wasn't. I mean, he gets a 6, Walton, because he literally kept a clean sheet and he doesn't have anything to do. We were slow and predictable. I do agree with that. O'Shea gets a 7.6. Kipre gets a 7.8. Fair enough. Furlong a 7. 7.1 for Leaf. This is all on FootMob. If you've not got the app, go and get on it. Matasiwa got 6.8. Bit sloppy at times, but I like him. Jack Taylor gets 7.3. He should be higher. He was my man of the match yesterday. I thought he'd give a really good display. Be interesting now moving forward if he keeps his place at West Brom, because I think he's obviously signed that new contract. He played, 2 or 3 games at the start of the season, and then we obviously signed Jens and we signed Nunes. But I thought Jack Taylor yesterday, he was strong in the tackle. He's got the legs. He can get up and down the pitch, which I like. Played a lovely through ball in the second half inside the right back channel to Nunes. It was a bit off balance, put it wide. I thought Jack Taylor was excellent. I thought that was probably one of his best games for Town. So interesting to see if he keeps his place. Agele gets a 6.6. Thought he was maybe a little bit higher than that. Smodix 5.9, but he's not really getting a rating for 21 minutes. Philogene 6.8. Hurst gets 6.3. Spanner says it's the whole game, not the first half. Need to get this 1-0 wins. It's how we got up last time. Still not replaced. Morsey, agreed. Paper Rocks, I thought he was sloppy, but he got a new contract, so we see how he does on the pitch. Was that your opinion yesterday on Jack Taylor? Yeah, get involved in the comments there on that. And then the subs came on, and they obviously they made a big difference. Jack Clarke, like I said earlier, and Town now have climbed we're up to 12 on 16 points with a game in hand. Win that game in hand, and we will go 6th in the league. So there's not a lot of daylight. You know, Coventry obviously won again on 28, Borough on 25. Marvin, hi Rich, just joined the stream. Have I missed the Wardley boxing chat yet? No, that is coming up very soon. I watched it on the TV. Lots of salty boxing snobs online moaning about the stoppage. Tell us about your visit to the O2. I'm getting there very soon. But yeah, look, good win for Town. Now, we've won 4 at home. We've got to get that away win. Somewhere along the line, no better place to get it than next week. But then after the game, Kieran come out with a little bit of a strange comment about the atmosphere. It was a tough atmosphere to play in. Didn't go and acknowledge the North Stand yesterday like he normally does. I don't really think he needs to go there, if I'm being honest with the comments. When you start questioning like atmosphere and fans, look, totally different. But under Mick, we all knew what it got like with Mick. It got toxic. But it was totally different, sort of, the club was back then. And it's not going to get like that now. But I think Kieran's, look, he's got a lot of love from the fans. I just think maybe he was just a bit frustrated. But I think it doesn't need to be blown up into like a major sort of us versus them. You know, if it does a little bit, it gives them a bit of a kick up the arse. Maybe that helps. I don't know. Ross Southgate says, Nunes in the advanced number 8. Could be that what McKenna has stumbled on. Let's hope so, as the number 10 has been a problem position this season. Yeah, look, I've said about 3 in midfield, and if you use Nunes in that sort of forward advance role in between the 10 and the 8, you know, he could do it. Later says, best of all, Norwich lost again. They lost 2-1 at Swansea. Mike D, welcome in. He says Lee Grant is on the verge of the tin tack. Lost again yesterday at Wickham. He was getting pelters at the end. Obviously, Darren Ferguson was sacked last night. So sacking season is upon us. But yeah, Kieran, I don't think you really need to go there. Let's just concentrate on doing your stuff on the pitch. I know you're a bit frustrated, maybe. We're all frustrated about the other night. You know, it wasn't the best performance. Obviously, it wasn't the best result. We all know that. And look, they've got the win yesterday, and we should be winning home games. And we did. let's see if I can get this up on here. My bet doesn't seem to be working. Let's have a look. Let's get a bit of Wardley chat going. Did everybody watch the fight last night? We'll have a look on those days. Wow. Let's see. Didn't mind McKenna saying it. Says Mike, showing a bit of character to make a change. Yeah, look, I'm not against it, but I don't think he really needs to sort of go there. So yeah, then after the footy, we went off down to the O2, down at London, Greenwich. Got there about 5:45, I think it was. Then went and got some food. Went to TGI's. Absolute shit show in there. Shambles. Wasn't a lot of organisation, but got some grub. Got into the O2 about, what time was it? Probably about 7:15ish. There was a lot of fights on before the Wardley fight. I mean, it didn't get on till I think 5 to 11 by the time first bell. There was a couple of guys next to us. I think they were town friends from Colchester. Their train had already gone. I don't know how they were getting home. But yeah, look, brilliant night for Wardley. Brilliant night for Ipswich. I just really enjoyed the fight. I thought he started quite well. Mike says, great fight. What a hero he is, definitely. You know, he stepped up. His performance from the Justice Hooney fight to last night, I thought he improved a lot, and he had to. New subscriber, Sooty the Teddy. Great show. Got a new subscriber here. I need help. I have multiple voices in my head. They keep telling me to buy cucumber. Oh dear. Kit Ray was solid yesterday, says Barry St Edmunds blue. But yeah, right. I thought, yeah, started off Parker. Joseph Parker, look, probably the nicest person in boxing. I was listening to his comments afterwards. We'll get on to the stoppage, and there's a lot of chat around that. Was it too early or not? No moaning, just gets on with it. I think he's going to continue fighting. He's 33 now, so obviously he didn't need to take this fight. He was scheduled to fight Usyk. Usyk obviously injured, and he just stepped up and took on Wardley, knowing it was a dangerous fight, knowing that if he loses, that chance is going to go. And obviously Fabio's now in line for that. But where we were sat up a tier. You can see it on the thumbnail. Neil Barley. Had a fab time in my local in Norwich. Celebrate their goal in my normally shithousery doing a lap of the pub. My city mates are definitely fearing the drop. Well, but yeah, where we sat, you can hear like the oohs and the ahs, but you don't really get sort of the effect of like how hard these guys punch. I mean, second round, Wardley's on the verge of stopping him, and then his gum shield falls out. Well, I don't think it falls out. I think he spits it out, which is, look, you're going to do anything you can in there to get a little bit of time. And then the bell rings, and then I don't think there's any doubt that Parker was ahead on the judges' cards as they went into like the championship rounds, as they call them. But you can just never ever doubt Wardley. I just think he's got so much heart, so much courage, and he digs down deep, and he did last night. At the end of the 10th, he was on the verge of stopping him, and then he gets saved by the bell, and then into the 11th. Look, I think I see a stat earlier. I think, yeah, I did say that. I went for Wardley. I think it was in 10. If you watch back the match preview and the fight preview on Friday night, I mean, I could have got 16-1. Rounds 9 to 12, he was 16-1. Didn't put a bet on, did I? So silly me. But I did think that when he was weighing in 20 pounds heavier on in the weigh-in on Friday night, I thought maybe as that goes later rounds, that extra weight that you're carrying, they both looked tired as they as the fight went on, you know, and Howard Foster, the referee, is coming for a little bit of criticism, but I see there was a stat he had. I think it was 33 unanswered punches. He wasn't landing them all. I think it could have gone possibly a little bit longer, but then look, he's in there to give that judgment call. Paul Whitmore says, not a fan of boxing, but really pleased for Fabio. Just hope he gets out with his health and his money. And this is where I'm saying about the referee. You know, he's in there. He's got to look after the safety of both fighters. And I think it could have gone on a little bit longer, but he's got to make that call. Spanner says, all went wrong for Parker and went right for Wardley. Big payday for our lad, Wardley. Well done. Not sure Parker can force the rematch before the Wardley-Usyk fights. So it's obviously, that's next stop now. I see Daniel Dubois in the mix. It was his 20th win in 21 fights. Obviously, he had the draw against Clarke last time. That was when they fought the O2 when I went. But Joseph Parker, he's a warrior. They're both warriors. Mark Ashton was there. Luke Warren was there. Marcus Nash was there. Liam Delap was there supporting Fabio, which was great to see. But yeah, he's on such a journey. I think 10 years ago, I think he's a recruitment consultant, Fabio. He's had 4 amateur fights. It's just a great story, and now he gets that opportunity. You know, it's he says, I sit here in amazement for someone who had 0 amateur experience, 20 fights, fighting a former world champion. Ipswich should be proud of him. That's what Frank Warren says. Phenomenal performance, edge of your seat stuff. Both gave everything they had. It's a story I've never seen in boxing. So, not sure where it's going to be. One thing, it won't be at Portman Road. Could be at Wembley, possibly. Might be a summer fight. Not sure. But he deserves the opportunity, and he's opened so many doors now. Even if he didn't beat Usyk, there's fights for him out there now, and he's going to make a lot of money. And just be great to see him in the ring with Usyk and see what he can achieve, you know. But yeah, brilliant night at the O2. I think it's a great venue for concerts and boxing and anything down there. You know, it holds about 18, 19,000. Might squeeze a few more in. I don't think it was quite full last night. It was pretty rammed. And then obviously getting out, a little bit of traffic getting out of London, but not too bad. So yeah, it's an easy venue to get to. You do have to pay to go through the Blackwell Tunnel now. So thank you, Sadiq Khan. £4 to go through there. It would be £8, but it's only till 10 o'clock at night, and obviously that was after midnight by the time we got out of there. So yeah, yes, they have sparred before, Usyk and Fabio. So we will see. But his name is on the big cards now. So let's just see how he goes next time. But yeah, shout out to Fabio. I think we're all really, really proud of you. You know, Town fans should be proud of him. He's from Suffolk. He's one of our own. So yeah, get behind him when he fights Usyk. And you never know him heavyweight boxing. You know, he's got that puncher's chance. Usyk's a class operator. He really is. So we're just gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, it was a good day all round. Coupled with Norwich obviously losing to Swansea. So there he is. Eric Clacton said 1-0. And we're all happy. You know, performance-wise, it could have been better. I think we'll all say that. Probably Kieran would, if he was being honest, he would say that as well. But sometimes, like I say, you've got to win ugly. And we got the job done. And obviously, there's no game this week. We're off to QPR on Saturday, Loftus Road. Tough game. They lost 1-0 to Derby yesterday, so they'll be looking for a reaction. But let's hope Town can build a little bit of momentum now and go back-to-back. It is a 3-game week. Saturday is QPR. Watford on the Tuesday night, and then Swansea. And then I think that's it. There's another international break. And then we're done for international breaks, I think, until March, that is. So then the games do come thick and fast. But yeah, anyway, cheers for watching. Get your comments in below if you're watching back. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe. Yeah, get your comments in on the Town game. What did you think of the performance? What did you think to the game? Who's your standout performers? And if you watch the boxing and you are a boxing fan, what did you think to Fabio? And what do you think he's going to do against Usyk? Can he upset the odds? And can he take all the marbles? Because I think it's going to be for all 4 belts when they do fight. Pete's in from Cape Town. Take the 3 points and go again. Credit to Jack Clarke for his attitude and efforts coming off the bench. Agree with that. Thank you, Keith. We will see you all soon in the week. Stay safe, everybody. And yes, I am shattered. I'm going to go and have an afternoon snooze. I'm running on fumes, let's just say. I'll be back recording tonight where the town walk. That will be out tomorrow around about 6 o'clock. That comes out on YouTube. So if you haven't caught that, get over there, subscribe. We're getting on the way to 500 subscribers on there. So we'll see if we can hit that 500. But other than that, yeah, plenty of football to watch this afternoon, plenty of Premier League games. I think Hearts are beating Celtic in the SPL 3-1, so that's putting a spanner in the works there. But yeah, cheers for watching, everyone, and we will catch you on the next stream. Up the town and up the Wardley. Come on.